Hey guys, it is Nick here with another Nick's Topics Dragon Ball What If topic video for today. And today, we are getting into part 7 of my first Dragon Ball What If topic on this channel. And that one is, what if Hercule / Mr. Satan, the world martial arts champion from the original Dragon Ball continuity, was a Z-Fighter? Now, how would this be possible, you might ask? Well, if you haven't been a fan of the series thus far and haven't been up to date, give you a quick recap. So, I stage Hercule meeting Kid Goku and Bulma early on in Dragon Ball on their way to get the Dragon Balls. And instead of going to the Satan Dojo, Hercule travels along with them and even develops a lifelong friendship with the young Saiyan, although nobody knows he's a Saiyan yet, but you guys know what I mean. And a lot of his trademark moves, Hercule, he would master way earlier on, those of which being the Dynamite Kick, the Rolling Hercule Punch, and the Ultra Megaton Punch. And then after fighting Yamcha the Desert Bandit for the first time alongside Goku, he would then pick up on Yamcha's trademark move, the Wolf Fang Fist Attack, even using it better than the Bandit himself, much to Yamcha's chagrin and sort of happiness. And then after none of his attacks except the Dynamite Kick working on Staff Officer Black, he would then ask his young friend Goku to teach him the Kamehameha Wave and become pretty efficient with that, learning his first ever energy attack. Then, the time of the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament comes around, and after losing to Tien after giving him a really good fight, Hercule would then finally come face to face with Miguel and talk to her, telling her about the adventures he's had and even asking her to join. Meanwhile, before he gets the full answer out of her for the meantime, Tambourine is attacking Krillin because it's the King Piccolo arc, and since Krillin is much stronger, everyone rushes in and trounces Tambourine before he can land a decisive killing blow. Miguel then states that she's eager to learn more about Hercule and everybody else. Whilst in another part of the planet, King Piccolo sees the Tambourine has passed and summons Symbol to do the world martial arts killings in Tambourine's stead, instead taking on a more subtle approach. But on their way to find King Piccolo, after hearing about him from Master Roshi, they find Symbol and he is utterly killed, meeting Yajirobe in the process. Then, King Piccolo comes in to fight, and suffice it to say, with almost all the warriors ganging up on him, King Piccolo is outmatched and outmanned. So, Master Roshi takes that time to use the evil containment wave, and this time around, actually sealing the Demon King. And afterwards, Piano is obviously disposed of, but then everyone interrogates the Pilaf gang, still being angry that someone was literally out to get them, and figure out that the Pilaf gang summoned him, but they're still spared. Kid Goku's not that heartless, because it's Goku, come on. Anyway, as a thank you from Korin, he lets Goku and Hercule get the Ultra Divine Water as a thank you of saving the world from King Piccolo's tyranny. So, Kid Goku gets the water like normal, and Hercule gets it also, surprising Goku even that, besides himself, Hercule's now the strongest fighter, as he pretty much wanted, giving him a lot of bravado, but Goku saw that right away from whenever they first met, and since learning more about him, he's dialed that down a lot. Anyway, to wrap up the recap of what happened last time, just before they're about to leave, they encounter a man on a magic carpet, Mr. Popo, who says that the Guardian of Earth wishes to train them. Now, anxious to learn more, Hercule and Goku accept this proposition, and they are transported on the magic carpet to the top of the lookout, Kami's lookout. Now, after reaching the top of the lookout, Mr. Popo explains more about the trainings of the Guardian of Earth, and if they want to receive the full special training from the Guardian of Earth himself, Kami, that they're going to have to beat him in a sparring match and prove that their strength is even worth the Guardian of Earth's time. And Hercule and Goku aren't ones to back down a challenge. So, Hercule rushes in first, proclaiming that he's going to get the training as soon as possible, with Goku backing him up because the two are friends. And this combined tag team and this raw power is much more than Mr. Popo would have bargained for, even leading him to having to get serious. But this tag team is like far too much, surprising the Guardian of Earth's attendant. It is definitely noticeable that these two work in complete coordination. Despite being complete different ages from each other, these two have, like, almost no limits. The power coming off of them both is astounding. Even one of them alone gives Mr. Popo a hard time, but both, they pretty much win the match. And he then calls out for Kami. Then, since Mr. Popo lost and part of the deal, Kami makes his face known. And whenever he steps out, the figure is dark at first, but then they see him in full view. Hercule and Goku both see Kami and rush at him, thinking that this is King Piccolo and that they somehow got out of the evil containment wave and that their efforts were for naught. But as soon as they rush him, Kami just effortlessly pushes them aside. But he is definitely noted about their powers and friendship, and he's more than eager to train the both of them. Neither of them are looking to fulfill the role of Guardian of Earth, but they're definitely suitable training people for his lookout, because they did, after all, seal King Piccolo, so it's noted that they deserve this. Speaking of Piccolo, as I stated before, King Piccolo is sealed within the evil containment wave jar, which was also given to Kami. So, Kami has full custody over King Piccolo, which means no Piccolo Jr., which means also whenever the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament does come around, there is no Hero, Kami disguised as Hero, because there's no need. Why would he even need to bother outside of maybe seeing the tournament? Anyway, we get a brief time skip. Well, brief in our eyes, of course, because of Dragon Ball. And we get to see Goku grow up into his teen years, developing a power of almost 400 instead of 322, like the original. Hercule would be a very close second, with his power level now being amongst the lines of 380, because he has had regular time to spar with Goku, and with Kami's training, that's just added on. So, yeah, these two are the strongest as of now, because we know that's definitely not going to be the case for long. Anyway, we get into the marks of the 23rd World Tournament, getting introduced to Cyborg Tao, much to even Hercule's dismay. The tournament then progresses as normal, with Tien beating Cyborg Tao, Goku meeting Chi-Chi and having to beat her, but since there is no Hero and no Piccolo, that means Krillin and Yamcha actually get to fight each other. But it's obvious to note that even with Yamcha's Spirit Ball, Krillin wins this by default. Anyway, we get a similar scene after, with Hercule fighting against Tien. And the two are very eager to fight with each other, considering the fact that whenever they first fought, Tien was more along the lines just trying to kill him, get him out of the way. And he definitely wants to see how Hercule's progressed training with the God of Earth. And the two fight, with Hercule obviously outmanning Tien. But Tien then brings out the Tri-Form, which does at first catch Hercule off guard. But with all of his training, this is just a minor setback. Hercule is notably stronger than even the Triform, and Tien gets thrown out, complimenting Hercule on a job well done, considering the fact that he lost last time. Afterwards, we then get on to the next match, which would be Goku versus Krillin. And suffice it to say that Krillin's pretty much toast here. Goku just one-shots him, like Chi-Chi. We then get to the finale of the tournament. Goku against Hercule. Now these two, they have sparred a lot, but they haven't had like a real full-on fight since like ever. So they are very eager to get this fight on. This is going to be the most epic fight, possibly even more epic than King Piccolo whenever he was Piccolo Jr. and they fought. Anyway, the fight progresses, with the two being remotely even. Hercule bringing out every single trump card that he can, even coming up with some new variations of his moves. But, in the end, Goku is noticeably stronger. With him knowing about Hercule's techniques and stuff is definitely easy to counter. Hercule knowing the same about Goku. So the two have a long, dramatic fight, but Goku being the MVP overall. Afterwards, everything that happens after would go remotely the same. Goku and Chi-Chi would still get married. Goku would have his son Gohan, like the original. And another thing to point out here, Videl would still be born here. Now, Miguel would sadly have passed sometime, like, between this time, I feel, so it would just be him and Videl. But Hercule decides with Videl to stay with Goku, so they can train regularly, because without him, Hercule would have never gotten as strong as he did. He feels like the Satan Dojo would have never prepared him for this. And a long time of peace ensues, until the Saiyan arc, which is where we will leave things for right now. So, what did you guys think of this dramatic twist to the Piccolo arc? Do you think that King Piccolo will still appear sometime in the future when the time is too dire for just the people that there are now? Or do you think he'll never come out at all? How do you think that Hercule and Goku will fare against the likes of Raditz whenever he appears without any Piccolo to help? I hope you guys enjoyed this part, and I will see you guys in part 8. See you later.